this might be a complete black hole, and I apologize if it is. But it had more to do with the definition of verbal behavior, and is there any benefit to adding a component of relational framing to that definition to kind of try to like synthesize one concept as opposed to maintaining two different camps? Would there be any like benefit to exploring that? Because right now everything like that we studied is like, oh, one camp versus the other, and they're not even, it's like kind of apples and oranges. And then there's a couple of papers out there with like, oh, maybe there's a way to combine the two. Do you see any benefit to that, or should we just kind of stay the course?
That's interesting. Oh man, another big house question. That's cool.
I've got some thoughts. If you
Go
want to
for
think
it.
on yours. My understanding of reading between the two is that the RFT was attempting to do that and essentially synthesize and bring it forward. So I don't think that you're going to see the separation, I don't think you're going to see them coming back together at any point, because it was framed as like, this is the next step in the evolution of us understanding human behavior and specifically verbal behavior. And then like philosophically, there's a little bit different to where I don't think it makes sense to combine them again later anyway. So I think there's kind of like that practical issue that will come back together there too. So I don't know. I could see why it would be useful to bring them together, but I think the argument is just, it's already been brought together, and it was brought together in RFT. But people are like, no. We're supposed to come back together. It's like, no, this was the together. It was the next evolutionary step.
That makes sense.
That's my hunch.
I agree. I also think like as a metaphor, like just the camps thing, I hate the camps thing. I really do. Because the way I see it is, all right, so let's say you have like VB camp here, right? And then you like RFT camp here. There's a giant tidal wave that's coming onto the beach. And whether we hang out together or not, like we're going to get swept up in this big tidal wave unless we both figure out how to swim. And we got to be willing to hang in custody and understand that and be willing to incorporate dynamics, statistics, group designs, and those kinds of things into our models if we're going to be able to keep up when that wave hits the shore. In terms of merging the definitions, though, I'm not sure if there's much utility. For verbal behavior, if I'm teaching a tact or a man with a child who cannot derive relations, there may be little utility in adding mutual entailment and combinatorial entailment into the model at that time. It doesn't improve my ability to teach that skill. However, if I'm dealing with a homeless individual who has significant anxiety in crowds and when thinking about discontinuing drug use, I'm not sure if a model of tax or mans really get me any further in understanding that person's psychological suffering. And so I think that both models, though there are some areas of compatibility, also are used to solve different problems. And where they overlap, I think the evidence suggests RFT is better.
Yep.
Shots fired.
So therefore, it's a moot point. You don't have to spend time on that one. Noted, though. Thank you for your time.